SeeJeanty, Chris Jeanty here. How is everyone doing? I hope this live finds you well, finds you in good health, right? Finds you in a place of growth and prosperity, and um, and we're here. We're here. You know, God willing, we're here for another day. Those who are watching us live, welcome. You already know I'm about to cut you off, put you guys on screen. Intermission screen as I finish setting things up. It's a one-man show on these days. But if you're watching this after the fact, just go ahead and zoom forward. Just go ahead, jump ahead, to the meat and potatoes. It's going to be a really special episode. We have some incredible folks we're going to be talking to, and we're not going to waste too much time. So let me set things up so we can start these conversations. All right. I shall be right back. Let me go ahead and get this going. Boom, we are back. We are on YouTube. We are on Facebook. We're on Twitter. And we are on Instagram. And I thought I had a Twitter connection too, but we're going to have to figure that one out. So we'll be on Twitter as well. That's for the future. We'll work on that. But welcome, folks. Do drop a comment. We'll try to read what I can on screen. This is a great chance too, if you have a question or whatever it may be, to definitely drop it. It's a chance to answer it. Better than my DMs. I tell you that right now. I just usually don't have much time to look at them. But welcome, folks. And per usual, let me just get at the top of the hour things I always say. Même là, faut comprendre ce que et next ça qui devant là, même les tout bail sur YouTube li, sur Facebook li, c'est anglais. Puis le monde pense c'est un monde qui pas même vivre Haïti mieux, etc. Et bon me dire c'est un bon haïtien natif natal qui devant là, frère. Et même les accents, bon, pas me choisir pour grandir notre bois, bon accent c'est salier. OK, même fait Haïti qui était un âge qui était bientôt et là dans pays a frappé pour voir ça nous qu'a fait pour nous avancer bah yo pour pas seulement moi-même mais pour tout le monde qui dans le pays et c'est la raison que nous fait émission et nous fait canal exister d'abord pour tout le monde qui joindre en ligne d'inspiration sur qui ça qui Haïti qui ça Haïti cahier un jour et nous fait dans langage anglais parce que nous voulons et international là comprendre pays nous et des premiers bail là OK oui il fait pour haïtien tout parce qu'il y a pile haïtien il y a millions d'haïtiens qui vivent aux États-Unis qui grandissent dans langage de bois et la plus facile et puis à l'aise pour comprendre et ça qui a présenté de Haïti en anglais OK et j'aime toujours dire pour mon gars qui pour neuf ou fait abonner sur canal là me fait bail ça franchement me fait le pour moi ça pour bagaille effectivement chaque semaine jusqu'à et bon et du 5 ans là faut faire pour tête ou pas faire pour l'autre monde ou pas j'aime café bail ça yo si c'est pour l'autre monde fait bagaille on est derrière haïtien nous on va expression nous pas acheter fini ça c'est un bail qui veut dire que nous pas fait bail pour l'autre monde nous fait bail pour nous base expression c'est ça veut dire vraiment so me fait bail ça pour moi et j'ai comment qui devient le bon mais toujours voulu ouais bail yo et un standard qui est intéressant et qui me développe qu'est-ce qui me développe ouais et ce comment so c'est ça et nous là c'est ça ils ont nous exister and then bon c'est ça vous voulez nous comprendre que il y a plus de respect pour l'anglais et créole excusez mais nous faisons choix pour nous faire l'anglais pour plus monde du monde comprendre nous et pour avancer et mission nous pour éduquer OK so c'est ça that's the first thing little disclaimer about Creole just wanted to express that real quick and I'm going to actually put you back on intermission here for just a second I gotta take care of something here in the office real quick be back in just 1 minute we'll be right back. All right. We're back. Sorry about that, folks. Now, again, real special episode, so I'm kind of want to get to the meat and potatoes of things real quick. But first, second off, we already talked about the Creole. Second off, SeeJeanty book. Just know 101 ways to make money in Haiti, lucrative business ideas, insightful success stories, and interesting business opportunities for visionary entrepreneurs. Okay. That book's out. It's been out for a bit. Created that book really because of the inundation I have of folks really just trying to either maybe real estate, maybe starting a business, maybe, what could they do? And I felt guilty of not being able to respond to the folks who reach out to me. So I said, hey, let me just do a knowledge dump, put it all in a few hundred pager, right? We got table of contents, you can jump to what interests you the most, and folks can have it at their leisure, at their heart's content, while also supporting SeeJeanty Media. The funds of the book go 100% to supporting the salaries, the equipment, and the capacities of what we got going on here. So keep that in mind. And I dropped the links for those who are watching the IG. It's SeeJeanty.com/shop, right? SeeJeanty Action Group, feel free, join that, right? Join that. It's a place where there's a lot of, how do I say, communication happening. Because one thing I similarly feel guilty on is the fact that this show that we have here used to be effectively a daily show, right? Back when we first started this thing, used to be a daily show. And now, right now, it's once a month, right? So the SeeJeanty Action Group is a place where folks can continue to communicate, continue to share, imagery and information of what's happening in Haiti, with the idea of that information hopefully allowing us to move proactively, right, and do better and be better for what our engagements are in Haiti, right, which is really the mission of the channel as a whole. Right. And so it's a space for folks to continue to collaborate, continue to do what I love doing without me being there. Right. It's there. It's really your space. It's a safe space. So leverage it to your heart's content. Right. Now, for those who want perhaps the next level experience in terms of this community, this space of fighting for Haiti, join the SeeJeanty private WhatsApp group. First off, it's like a Patreon, allows us to do what we do here at SeeJeanty Media. Again, 100% of what we do. I haven't ever made $1 from anything media, SeeJeanty Media yet, which is we're working on that, by the way. It has to change at some point. but 100% goes to, again, the infrastructure of what allows SeeJeanty Media to continue to create the content that it's creating, right? And on top of that, we have a community of folks growing every day, 30, 40 plus folks in there who are communicating, engaged, keeping themselves informed. And they're all a part in doing things. They're all a part of each of their individual attack plans. Some of them are doing business. Some of them are doing more social-based programs. Some of them are doing farms. Some of them are trading. Some of them are, in the medical sector. But they're in there. We're talking all the time. We're helping each other out. We're sharing resources. And I'm in there too. I'm in there. Folks who really are interested in having access to your boy, right? I'm in there, right? I'm in there. And for a small monthly stipend, I go 100% to the infrastructure, the salaries, and the folks who are creating the content. You get to be part of it, right? So do check out SeeJeanty.com private WhatsApp group. We'd love to have you in there. Let's come and be part of the conversation that happens every single day, right? And of course, very, very important. Very, very important. You guys are the co-hosts here, so please don't be shy. Drop a comment, say what's up, say good morning, share questions. Right? We'll try to do what we can to grab them, put them on screen. You guys are my co-host. You guys are my co-host, right? And finally, hyperdistribution.com. Do check it out. That's a venture launched by yours truly. the incredible collaboration of the community as a whole, who are shareholders. Many of the community are shareholders of this group, of this company, and we're trading. We're buying things from Haiti, and we're selling them stateside in markets and grocery stores, from vanilla essence, almond essence, honey, from Jonjon, from coffee, right? So many products we're bringing over by the container load. I mean, we're at a point now where we're not doing 40-foot containers anymore. We're doing 45-foot containers. And quite frankly, we'd be doing 53-foot containers each month, but Haiti apparently doesn't accommodate for 53-foot containers, which is really annoying and really frustrating, right? But nonetheless, we're at 45-foot containers each month. So meaning we have stock, we have product. However you want to engage with hyper distribution, the floor is yours. If you want to become a wholesaler, right? If you want to get these products to resell for yourself, you provide rock bottom rates, and wherever you're living, you can get these products and see what you can hustle to get a few bucks, and also know you're helping support really the economy of Haiti, jobs and job growth, right? So check out hyperdistribution.com. There's different ways for you to engage with hyper distribution, but just know we're here. We're not just a media entity here. We're an action-oriented community that I promise you, Lord give me another 40 years to continue to fight for Haiti and grow this community. I'm telling you, Haiti can't but help. Haiti can't but help become better with what we're building here. And so I want to thank you for not only watching and sharing the videos, but again, being a part of what we have going on here, right? So first and foremost, I want to apologize for last month's episode. I was also in Haiti. I'm in Haiti now, as you guys can see. I'm in Haiti. This is the Haiti office, right? We're in Haiti. And I didn't realize that my signal was so bad. I thought I was getting a little indicator that the signal was weak. I didn't realize how bad it was. And it wasn't until after the fact I saw it was a very grainy, crappy image. And I was really, really frustrated because I was sharing a very personal, probably that last live last month was easily the most personal I've ever gotten on social media. Down to the details of my parents and how, I was, they lost 2 or 3, in fact, before me, and the meaning behind the name and all that stuff, right? And I did it under a grainy image, which is really, really annoying. And I was like, so I guess we'll probably do another super personal one, maybe a year, 2 years down the road. But I just wanted to apologize for that. Second off, y'all need to keep me earnest. Yeah, if y'all were seeing a grainy image, nobody said anything. Nobody said, "Hey, Chris, man, your image is real grainy right now." Nobody said anything. You guys know the quality of the image of the live stream we usually have, right? And it was great. First off, it's like I'm paying a lot of money to StreamYard to get me to 1080p. I mean, their standard is only 720. I'm paying a lot of freaking money for the final tier of what they offer to get me to 1080p. Also, you guys can have a quality viewing experience. So if you guys are not getting it, you guys got to let me know. Drop a comment. If it ever gets too grainy for you guys, first off, check your own settings. Make sure your own settings aren't messed up. But after you check your settings, say something and let me know so I can get things fixed. Okay. But so that's wanted to drop that real quick. So this episode of the live show, usually, this is where, we kind of shoot the ish for a little bit. We talk for a little bit, different things potentially come up. Different things come up and we get to talk about each current events, or sometimes we go into the comments, different things we try to do typically. And then towards the back end, I have a surprise guest that comes in and we wrap it up. But this episode, we're doing something so different. We got, count it, 2 superstars of this generation of impactors. And doing different things in different capacities, but it's still in the lean of entrepreneurship, still in the lean of in Haiti, still in the lean of Haitians as a whole globally, right? Trying to impact and do better. And our first guest is in the tech space. Our next guest will be in the logistics space. But these are 2 folks I have, first off, a tremendous amount of respect for. Let me tell you right now, a tremendous amount of respect for both of them, because before anything, you know, listen, if you're impact or you're doing stuff, I have a lot of respect for you, right? First and foremost, because to be a doer in a world of talkers and idealists, you know, apparently it's a rare thing. I don't know. You know, I've always been a doer. I don't know how to be anything but a doer, but from what I've seen in personal experience, there is a small percentage of doers and a lot of percentage of talkers, idealists, watchers, woulda, coulda, shoulda, right? And so when I find one that is really, listen, that's even more productive than me, because I like to fancy myself as a pretty darn productive person, but more productive than me. You know, that's darn near scary. First off, because I know how productive I am. So you're better than me. You know, first off, I gotta, you know, maybe take some extra breaks. Because I don't take enough, that's for sure, right? And so it's a tremendous pleasure to have, you know, folks come on. Now let's focus on my first guest real quick. This person has really built an ecosystem, particularly in technology. This person, you know, she's worked at Microsoft and has done a lot of different things in the tech space, you know, impacting. She also has a tranche of work she's been doing in Haiti with Haitians on the ground in different capacities, from helping them get up to speed to actually even employing them, right? You know me, we're all about employment, right? Job creators here on the channel. And so I just gave you the cliff notes of it. She'll be on in just a second to give you the deep dive, okay, of it. But again, she's someone who I think we're going to get a lot of information from. So I'm going to bring her on in just a moment, but here's what I challenge you guys to do. Grab a notepad, okay, grab a pen, make sure you tap it on your tongue, make sure your pen has ink, okay, because you don't want to be in the middle of a stellar idea that she's giving you, and now you run out of ink, okay, all right, make sure your pencil's sharpened, right, because she's coming on. And so my first guest, with tremendous honor, I want you guys to stand up, give it a round of applause wherever you may be standing right now, is my good friend Whitney Lubin. Whitney
Thank you. Yes, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Whitney. Welcome. And of course, Whitney, a lot of folks may already seen Whitney around in different spaces. You know, she's not someone who's shy to apostolize really the work that she's doing in really helping our community and helping our community in the spaces that most need the help, which is technology, because we're tremendously underrepresented. I always share this story where, you know, I chose economics and technology, even though my dad had a computer school and I was very well versed in technology. I enjoyed technology, but I never considered a serious path for me because I didn't see anyone who looked like me. You know, I saw Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, anyone who was in technology, some white guy. You know, I didn't see, you know, I was like, I'll go in economics. I see, you know, it's money, it's interesting. I've seen some black economists. Let me go that way. But I ended up coming back to technology just because that's where the money is, first off. And that's what my interest ultimately really was, right? And I was able to bleed in the other stuff I learned. So I'm in a very nice middle place. But technology is a very big cornerstone and foundation. And so that's why, again, I have tremendous respect for you, Whitney, and what you're trying to do. So back, let me stop and let's give folks a little bit of an intro. Whitney, who are you?
So, like you mentioned, I work at Microsoft as a product manager. Before I came to Microsoft, I worked as an engineer, a software engineer. But prior to that, I was someone who was basically trying to break into tech, and I had an unconventional background. I didn't have like a CS degree, but like you, like I didn't see anybody like myself in tech. And I didn't really have an understanding what tech was. It wasn't until I did my boot camp. I did a boot camp in Miami that I realized, oh, this stuff, I've been doing this whole time. And I didn't realize this was a career. So like, even down to like the coding, I was like, oh, I was doing this like in high school, but nobody had I really didn't have anybody around me because I was definitely heavy on the computer. I was the person in my family who hogged the computer for hours on end. So I was deep in the internet, but you know, I was coding, but I felt like that at the time, I felt like that was something that everybody was doing, but I didn't see it as a career move. So that was never explained to me. So when I went to college, I majored in like the top three things that I guess your parents would say is medical, law. So I practically went through everything basically. I was a bio major, thinking to go to med school. Then I was like my sophomore year, the end of my first semester of my sophomore year, I was like, let me change my major. And then I majored in international affairs at Florida State. And when it was like the last semester when I was about to graduate, I took an entrepreneurship class. And in that entrepreneurship class, me and my team, we built a streaming platform, a sports streaming platform. And we went to this hackathon. And at that point, I was like, oh, this is the space I need to be in. I like being with creators and builders. I just like the process of seeing a problem and building a solution using the technology that's currently available. And so from there, it started. I graduated, but I was like, I should have studied CS, but I wasn't going to go back and do that. So I started trying to break into tech just by relationships, going to conferences, and eventually it happened. Like I was able to start working as an engineer, and then most recently, I transitioned to more product oriented management. And in that process, I was like, I didn't want the same experience I had, which is who are the Haitians who are in tech? Because I could see Haitians in medicine, I knew Haitians in law, but I didn't at the top of my head could think of one individual who was a Haitian in the tech space. And so the domain was available, and it was really, I didn't really expect it to get so much traction, but it seems like the universe was aligned in the sense that the city of Miami for the past 10 years, when I was being active, has been very much engaged in building a tech ecosystem. They want Miami to be basically the Silicon Valley of Latin America and the Caribbean. And so I had been in that space for the past 10 years and observing that. But COVID allowed it to be, it really ramped everything up that had been happening for several years. And the mayor and many people in the mayor's office intentionally didn't want it to seem like they were solely, all the initiatives around tech was focused on the Hispanic community. And there was really no other organization other than Haitians in tech for them to reach out to. And so they reached out to me, and really our kind of like our mission kind of grew from there, because initially it was just a landing page to tell the stories of the Haitians in tech that I found out about. So like a newsletter. And now it's around career development of the Haitian community in Little Haiti and Miami, and even across the US, connecting them to career development resources. And the way that we've done that is we've taken unique approaches based on our experiences, because you can't have any conversation about developing your career in tech and then not fall into how do we use tech to help Haiti. And so we've taken that also as part of our mission, is helping our talent get a better understanding of the tech landscape in Haiti, so that we can foster collaboration with technologists in Haiti and actually create some innovations and support innovations that happen there.
That's a lot. You gave us a lot of meat. First off, the first bit of meat is you said you were medical for a bit, right?
Yeah, pre-med. Yeah,
pre-med, and then you said something about law too, right?
Yes, I took the LSAT. I was working at a law firm, and I was like, nah, this is not it. I was thinking about doing patent law. I just needed to build something. And so eventually I ended up doing a boot camp and then working as an engineer for a few years. And
technology rest is it.
Yeah, it was history.
As the story goes, as they say. So I'm even myself, same thing. I did my undergrad grad, and then I was supposed to go to law school. I took my LSAT, got accepted to law school, in fact. I just didn't show up. I just couldn't. I was like so tapped out and just ready to start working, start doing things. And then my path diverged to tech. Again, in that same way where I was doing all the things, I didn't realize there was a career there. So next thing is really, so help us understand the Haitians in tech, the folks who are part of this group, the Haitians, how large is it? And what are some of their backgrounds? Because again, it's about example, showing folks, what's possible. So give us, some examples of a member or two who are really doing some impactful, really cool things.
Yeah. So we have a really we got a good mix. So we have people who are interested in transitioning to tech, of course. And then we have some really like heavy hitters in the tech space. We call them hit makers, Haitians of tech. And one of them is one of my co-founders, Nita. She's actually the head of product at MTech, which is a they basically build out the regulatory framework for issuing a central bank digital currency. And they've been doing really awesome work, in Africa and in the Caribbean. And most recently, we were at the embassy, I think it was in April. They were presenting a use case for Haiti to have a digital currency. So so we have some really great people in the network. Another one is Ashley Narcissus. He's a software engineer. He works at Apollo. And yeah, he's a principal. I think he's a principal at this point, engineer. So he's way up there. He's so much experience, so much knowledge. His focus is around really making sure that the dev talent that we recruit in Haiti has the up-to-date skills. So like a lot of times when you'll recruit engineers in Haiti, they're very early career, or they're using technology that's not necessarily as current, or practices that are not optimal. And so for him, his focus has been to kind of like make sure that he can upskill them with the right processes and technologies that they should be up to date on, so that we can have a outsourcing of tech talents working on projects specifically in Haiti. Those are like the partnerships and the people that have kind of like just joined the network, including like people investing in tech VCs. So it's just been a really good kind of like mix of all the things that you really need. But I feel like when I come around the young people who are breaking into tech, but they want to know like how does that apply to Haiti? It's figuring out how we map out what the tech ecosystem, what are the organizations, like that's what we've been focused on, and building a framework for collaboration for an easy on ramp.
That was my question. I'm gonna lead to in a moment will be talk a little bit more about that bridge between Haiti and Haitians and tech. So many are in America or outside of Haiti, anyways. But first off, the Haitian tech is it more of a directory of Haitians in tech? But is there a membership? Like how do folks engage? Is it just meetings are held and invitation? But is there more requirements to be officially a member rather than maybe an observer or something?
There's no, I wouldn't say, I think anybody who's looking to break into tech can become a member of Haitians in Tech or is curious about the tech space. So we have a Slack group where that's more project oriented for conversations around specific projects that you may be working on. We just recently launched the WhatsApp group for more general conversations. And then we have our newsletter to just highlight different projects that are being worked on, whether from entrepreneurs or just different initiatives that we think are important to share with the audience. But for the most part, we do our monthly activations, and those are an opportunity for us to, congregate together and talk about, leading technologies or just network with each other. And so that's kind of the way that we've oriented it. I would say if you want to really be involved with Haitians in Tech and kind of lead some of the charge of the initiatives that we're working on, it's working on some of the open source projects that we've adopted. So we have a program called Commune, and that's where we think of, here's an area where we can actually utilize our own, like the tech skills we've acquired, and apply it to an existing problem in the community. And we basically, you would pick a community, we're sponsoring community, and you volunteer. If you're a data scientist, you volunteer your time to look at data, pull data for reports. And the whole point is that in the process of you building your portfolio, you're also helping us get more insight about what's going on in Haiti. And so I would say those are the ways that we focus on engaging the community. It's like mapping out the current state of affairs technology wise in Haiti, and having them kind of like contribute to that work, which contributes to building their portfolio and career.
Now, specific to Haiti, so what are the engagements currently, either you personally and or Haitians in Tech are doing in Haiti? I mean, you mentioned a few things, but let's get into the weeds. Like, what do you Break that
So,
down to us.
so one of the projects I worked with was actually with Castelline Tillis. She's of IT
My
Analytics.
girl Cass, I got to invite her on my
Yes.
program, by the way. I love that girl. Go ahead.
Yes, she's so awesome. So basically we have a program, excuse me. So we had a program at Microsoft giving out free education licenses to schools. So I reached out to her to basically compile that list of schools in Haiti. And then we ran into a few challenges because one of the things that we needed to also have is that the schools who registered for this education license have to have a .edu.ht to legitimize themselves as an educational institution. So then I had to find someone else who could tell me what would be the process, because a lot of the schools who signed up didn't have the .edu.ht domain.
Mm-hmm.
So that was like a whole process of just creating a documentation of what the steps were, who to contact. And I think that is very important. Like a lot of times we go into Haiti with good intentions, but then we contribute to a lot of the dysfunction. And just documenting what the process is, I think, very critical. I think the internet has told us like access to information gives opportunity. And I think a lot of the diaspora don't have access to that information about how to do X, Y, and Z in Haiti. And so that was one of the our title projects that we worked on with her, and that one was very successful.
Mm-hmm. So that you want the boot, but did you help her with the boot camp that she does as well?
No,
the boot camp
helped us.
Okay.
Basically. So we were looking for data, so we reached out to them in order to source that data so that we could launch that initiative in Haiti. They're on the ground, and we couldn't find a very good list.
Now I remember there was a period where you had some folks trying to do some work. Either you outsourced, like you had an outsource thing going on for a while. Was that just a personal thing? Tell us about that. How did that go?
So what we try and do is also basically, if we come across a client, because I also have a consulting firm, basically recruit members within the Haitians in Tech kind of consortium to work on it. And so there's several projects like that I've worked on with people in Haiti. I've actually worked through, what's her name? She does the Haiti Tech Summit, but she had like an internship.
Yeah, I know you're talking about. She runs the. Oh my goodness, I was forgetting her name. Somebody help us out who's watching the thing. The
Christine.
Christine Soufflant. That's right.
Oh yes.
Inspector Christine. Yes. Mm-hmm.
So she had a summer program. So we've done the summer program where we hired interns who came from her accelerator. And we just had them work on internal projects that are part of where I had people requesting to consult with me. And so that's been a great experience, but it really highlighted a lot of the things that Ashley Narcissus through Haitian.dev talks about, which is about making sure like the skill is using the people that we're hiring in Haiti are upskilled on the latest practices. But I think in order to do that, then we have to hire them. Like the more experience they get on projects, the more, they can actually perform at the level that we need them to, so that we can kind of like spread the news that Haiti's the place for the best tech talent.
Mm-hmm. And I can tell you, I do have my own outsourcing firm. We do have a current tech contract right now. We have a couple of developers who are doing SEO and some web development. And I can tell you, the client that's connected with that, very satisfied. This is a client that has worked with folks in India and Pakistan and Philippines, and this is the longest they've been connected with an outsourced firm and been so satisfied. And I think that's something that tells you that we have something here that folks don't consider. They don't consider it too often, and for genuine reasons, given the the image of Haiti. But those who give Haiti and Haitians in tech here a chance, I think they're going to be surprisingly satisfied with what's here and what's available.
Yeah, very much so. So we also provide career mentorship. And so I had a tech entrepreneur, actually, I talked to him yesterday. He's Haitian, and he's not technical in and of himself, but he recruited engineers in Haiti to work on the platform. And it's built on React, Node.js backend, hosted on AWS. So like it has the infrastructure that we're saying is the most current type of infrastructure you can expect from engineers, at least in the States. And so, yeah, you can find really good talent in Haiti, but it's about organizing that information about where that talent is and actually having consistent way of, evaluating their work. And so I think definitely Haiti's position for this is just about organizing the information so it's accessible to the people who are looking for that talent.
What are some of the challenges you're hearing, from Haitians in tech, the folks who are the members? I don't know, what's a consistent thing you're hearing about, I don't know, their experience in the field, as working within these companies, maybe those stories might be the same story as just any person in a Black person in a non-Black space, but I don't know, what are some of the things you're hearing, and how is Haitian tech helping with those pain points?
So I have one person I'm specifically mentoring. She recently got she's a CS major at Miami-Dade, and she's actually just started with Apple, working with Apple. And so one of the things when I first met up with her was, that idea, like that imposter syndrome. She was thinking she was going to change her major. She just was really struggling with the confidence aspect. But the thing is, it's like, I feel like we are actually we have more strength than we actually think. This idea of imposter syndrome, it's kind of like this smokescreen. It's an insecurity, and it's completely normal. But the greatest strength we have is the fact that we come from this different perspective. And so that different perspective allows us to implement solutions and address problems that the other people may not even notice would be a thing. And at the end of the day, sometimes it just takes time to learn things. And I think a lot of us tend to put a lot of pressure on ourselves. We're like expecting ourselves to know everything up front. And that's just, especially in tech, things change so fast. That's just not the case. There's no way there's just no way you can always know all of the things all the time. It's just impossible. And at the rate that tech changes, like every year there's an update to the software you're using, and you're going to need to change things. So I think you have to get into the mindset of continual growth. That's why we're hosting one of our events actually today. I was about to say tomorrow. It's today, a Haitians in Tech workshop, and we're talking about growth mindset. And I think even in the context of when we talk about development in Haiti, a lot of the negative talk, I think, is that fixed mindset. And we need to start training our culture from the time they're in college. And that's why Haitians in Tech tends to focus really on the youth, creating like youth chapters, which is our next area that we want to go into, because we need to create a growth mindset to approach problems, not with this idea, like all these obstacles are so big and scary to tackle. No, they can be tackled. We just have to break them down into smaller pieces and attack it that way. And so I think a growth mindset is really the main thing from the new, like breaking into tech cohort within Haitians in Tech that I hear all the time. That's what they reach out to me for in terms of, I'm just breaking tech. I don't know what to do at the interview. And you have to kind of like help them build that confidence. So yeah.
Now you said something there. You mentor. Now, are you person mentor, or does Haiti Tech have a formal sort of mentorship element where folks get connected if they so want, and then you recruit people who could mentor? Tell us about that part.
Oh, yes. So I'm not the only one mentoring. We just redesigned the website. And so we're looking for additional mentors to add to the site. So basically, you'd reach out to us, letting us know that you'd like to be a mentor on the platform. And we'll go through the whole onboarding to add you to our mentorship portal. And then members on the site, or people who are just visiting the site, maybe they don't want to, give us their email and join the newsletter or anything like that yet. But they can book some time to mentor with the person that they best fits, the thing that interests them. And so we're building basically a repository of tech leaders that anyone who's breaking into tech or maybe you're established in tech, you just need additional mentorship for someone a little bit higher up, can reach out to. And so that's that. If you're curious about that, you can always reach out to me at whitney@haitiansintech.com, and we'll schedule some time to onboard you.
I know Haitian tech it's more U.S. based for now, U.S. and some Haiti connections. Any thoughts of Canada branch, France branch, Chile branch, Brazil branch? We're Haitian.
Yeah, you rushing ahead. That is definitely the plan. But I tell my friends this all, like everybody this all the time. Like, the way that's gonna happen is when somebody says, "I want to lead this part," and so. The way I focused Haitians in tech, because we've gotten a lot of funding and support from a lot of local organizations and some other organizations as well, is that, I'm here as a facilitator. And so if you're in Orlando, if you're in Chile and, you can lead, you feel like, okay, I've looked at the ecosystem and I think I can actually build a community of Haitians in tech, a chapter in Chile or wherever you may be. I'm here to support you with any of the resources financially to get it up and running. But you just have to, it's funny. I've made this offer up to people. I'm like, hey, I'm here to financially support you to do X, Y, Z. And nobody, like, limited amount of people take me up on the offer. And so that has been my biggest struggle, is saying I have this money to spend that people expect me to spend. And I'm looking for other people who are interested and passionate about this to support, to help lead it. Because if I'm supporting another person who has a passion for tech, that falls in the domain of what our mission statement is, and that our funders are thrilled about that. But it's actually harder to get people to take me up on the offer.
Yeah, I think, I can see this being a cross international entity that's really impacting and helping Haitians, domestically at the levels where they're at doing things. So I see a lot of potentiality and overcoming challenges. But I guess one challenge certainly to talk about. So there is the element of being Haitian, being Black, and in tech, but there's another element of being a woman in tech, and so you're in this interesting intersection of both, right? But I don't know. Tell me about that. Tell me about. I mean, do you feel it's better than it was? It's tracking up a bit. Is it in a good space? Is it something you're tired of hearing? Because what are you talking about, Chris? We're doing. I don't know. Give us some thoughts on that.
You know what? I kind of am, but at the same time, it is a reality because people do talk about it. I remember when I was first kind of like transitioning into the space, and there was this other male Haitian, an acquaintance I had, and I was like, I'd been talking about it, like all the projects I was working on, all the conferences I was going into. And he was just like, yeah, maybe you should, give up on it, because basically he was saying that I needed to go kind of like the more formal route. And I was like, no, but XYZ person didn't go the formal route. Like, you could break into tech as long as you put in the work ethic. And what his response is that those people had pedigree and they had what was it? I guess like money and pedigree, all those things that you would look for. So either you go to Harvard, or you have the CS degree, or you have super wealthy family. And those were the only ways that you can get into tech in the way that I was thinking. I was like, I have my internet, I have my bachelor's, that's all I need. I know people, I'm building relationships. I know actually like what the tech is that's currently being used. I was thinking that was enough. But for a lot of people who are stuck in the mindset of like what the expected route was, like that was the feedback I was getting. And so I think definitely a lot of women and just minorities, they get that pushback that you didn't do it the way, is expected, the on-ramp into tech. And that creates the whole imposter syndrome that I didn't do it the way that everybody else told me I was supposed to. But when I talked to my managers, my manager didn't have a college degree when he started at Microsoft. Been in Microsoft for over 30 years. So a lot of those people don't have the same kind of hangups that we do. And we recycle the same kind of like requirements that they don't actually have to adhere to. And so I feel like, yeah, it is a reality that there are struggles that women and Black men in tech experience, especially the higher up you go. But I think it's a whole growth mindset thing. You don't have to believe it. Like, you don't have to believe that the problem is so insurmountable. Like, you may be the person who tackles it and creates a path forward for others. So I don't like to stay in that mindset of, you know, some overarching opposing force. It doesn't vibe well with me. I can't move with that.
But at the very least, it sounds like you have a space where folks could vent their frustrations, and again, and you provide different things to help them for mentorship and to kind of overcome those things. Mm-hmm.
I think people learn through like experience, and so you have to be able to facilitate them getting that experience and overcoming the I can't aspect of life, or they won't let me.
I have a question I have to ask. First technologist that I have here that I recollect. If I had another technologist here, I apologize for not remembering off the cuff. The biggest amount of folks who reach out to me, with an idea for Haiti, universally. If I have 10 folks reach out to me, 9 of them, probably 9, will all have this one similar thought. Chris, I'm the first one, man. There was the first one. I got this digital currency idea. It's gonna be the PayPal plus with Bitcoin on the blockchain, and it's gonna help, all these people in Haiti. Like, yo, but can you help me connect with some folks, the minister of banking in Haiti, and I'm being facetious, but I'm serious. There's most folks reach out to me. It's for some digital vision of money transaction, and sometimes 50% of the time, there's a mention of not blockchain, but digital currency. Other times it's just trying to facilitate be a sort of digital wallet, sort of what Moncash is, but better, right? Mm-hmm. I don't know. I've expressed many times, the challenges. And Haiti's a unique beast, and those worked in some other countries. I'm still waiting for that person who can take all those pretty sounding things that this new stuff they've said they can bring. It hasn't been around since, it's not yesterday. It's been around for over 10 plus years now. I'm still waiting, and I'm not saying it can't happen, but where is this entrepreneur, right? If there's so much money, opportunity, forget the entrepreneur. It can help socially. And where's the social entrepreneur who folks are building schools and medical clinics and things of that sort, NGOs for that. Why isn't there NGO yet to help folks with everything that has been expounded on this? So my question, Whitney, is what's going on? Help me not be frustrated, because I just want to see it. What's going on?
So in our research, we've identified like several kind of like pillars, areas where there needs to be change. And all of them feed into each other. So you have identity management, which plays a part in the whole property aspect of it, but it also plays a part in being able to service people, because you have to be able to track where all the resources are going to. And that is why a lot of people are focusing on the finance part of it, because there is this inability to track financially where money is flowing. And then that adds to the additional problem of procurement. Like, how does that procurement process happen? Whether it's, between a local government, which is where I prefer to focus, rather than like all the way up at the federal level. Like, those are issues that I feel like if they're not addressed, it makes it very hard for anybody to come in scalably and create like any type of solution that will actually work. I think you have to map out like all the nodes of that people have to go through to be able to implement a solution. Let's say that has to do with healthcare, or the example I gave with the schools, like just getting a .edu.ht, like that would have opened up like doors for other people to be able to provide resources. But without that, now it makes it incumbent on the person to do a lot more vetting of the institutions versus someone solely focusing on getting all the schools having a .edu.ht. They be responsible for that main task, and then having a place to direct people to locate all this information, all the data about what are the schools that have the .edu.ht. Like, it's for me, it's about where is information located, and who owns that information. And so I think a lot of people are jumping into the situation in Haiti, and they're trying to build something versus try to map it out. And I think we need to do more of a mapping out before we start building. And so that's our focus, is more of like mapping out all of these different arenas in Haiti.
I like that answer because it's at a very pragmatic level, and focus more on the reality of it rather than the idea of it, right? But do you? But I mean, of course, you just mentioned Nita.
Yeah.
Right.
But those are things that are in the works. So they're not going to come to you asking how can I connect with, because they're already in connection with anybody that. So when we did our presentation or when they did it, I'm taking, because I am. And there was actually, I met another company who did the presentation as well. I was really proud of the fact that there are people like this who are Haitian, who have this competency, who understand, at the highest level, what's happening globally, like this focus on developing this technology. And yeah, they are engaged with BRH. Now, that is a separate conversation. I'll let her kind of like explain that relationship and what maybe struggles she and her CEO, Carmel Cadet, are experiencing. But those people exist. The issue is that, I think a lot of people, they don't do enough research to see who's already in the space. Because anybody could have seen that there's already MTAG as well as some other firms already in the space. And so I just think, again, it's about mapping it out. What is currently being worked on in Haiti? What are the technologies already like in development that may just need funding? One of the projects I wanted to build, or I was trying to find, was an application that would just give me commune level information for communicating with like the local government, just to find out, okay, how do I do this? What is the official email? For a long time, there was a lot of cities with emails that at yahoo.france or whatever. Like, I'm not going to send any of my documentation to that. I don't like that. That seems so weird to me. And then I found a startup, Communité. They have an Android application. It's a Haitian founder in Haiti. And they partnered up with, what's his name? Wilson Jeanty and Delma to do their initial launch. That is a great application. At first, everybody within the Haitians in tech team was thinking, oh, we have to build it. And I was like, I'm not trying to build it. Can we locate it first? I'm like, my go-to is somebody has to have done it. Like, there's no idea that's really new in tech. I just, that's my default. I'm like, no idea is brand new. Like, I didn't just come up with this. Let me locate someone who's done this or is as close to this as possible. And my first attempt is collaboration, right? And so for a long time, I wasn't able to locate that person who had developed that. I found that person maybe a few months ago through Marc Alain at Bunge, because I had talked to him like a year ago. I was like, this is the application that I'm trying, someone who's working on this space, which is communication with your local government, having like just standardized information on what's the official, channels for doing things, right? And it wasn't until maybe like a year later, 9 months later, he was able to connect me with that person who had launched this in 2018. So again, it's like, there are people who are working on this, but we have to do a better job of kind of like researching it or consolidating that information and teaching it to each other. I would say like a rites of passage before you enter your professional career. We should have an understanding of the frameworks of how Haiti operates. And I'm saying that specifically from a tech side, like what is the tech ecosystem? What does that look like?
Yeah, I think for sure we're gonna get Nita on the program at some point because that's a pain in my crawl. The whole blockchain stuff, connected with Haiti, and I want to better understand it. I want my audience to better understand it. and I want to understand, when are we going to see these promises? Because it is these promises need to happen for Haiti, the way it's been proposed to me and you've heard. And if any place could see a rising of the poor and the masses and the ease of diaspora remittances and all these promises that blockchain and digital currency particularly has promised, Haiti could see those benefits for sure. And so I need to understand when is that going to happen? So continue to map it out, Whitney, and then so we can get a little closer to the finish line.
Yeah, that's the hardest part. That's the hardest part.
Mm-hmm. So I don't know. Where do you see Haitians in tech in 10 years? And where do you see Haiti in technology in 10 years? Two-part question. I'm all ears. Go ahead, Whitney.
So in 10 years, so again, my focus is on educating the diaspora on the landscape in Haiti. So in 10 years, I want it to be very easy for anybody within the diaspora to reach out to someone in Haiti to collaborate or support a project. The Community app, I mean, I need to do some follow-up conversations with that founder, but I want to see an example of that application in every commune in Haiti, so that every diaspora has a way of knows exactly how to reach out to someone in Haiti within their local municipality. I think for me, the idea is that every Haitian should know how to navigate. Like, I don't have to, it's very easy for me. If I wanted to, I could hop on a plane and move to, I don't know, Canada, look up the website and wherever I end up move and figure out what XYZ is. And I think that information doesn't exist. And in 10 years, I can see us having a very well mapped out digital infrastructure of information on Haiti that the diaspora is using very frequently to create opportunities for Haitians in Haiti, but also for themselves. So that right now, that's my vision, is creating that map of information, those directories, and making that something that actually leads to growth that we can track in at the local level. And so that's really the main focus, is bridging the local to diaspora relationship.
Yeah, I think that's an important element that certainly there can be. I think in 10 years, if that could, heck, next year, if that could happen, it'd be tremendous. For 10 years, certainly is a reasonable time frame for Haiti. I think that's certainly a big aspect, because the more you add to the communication, the less diaspora can be taken advantage of when they're trying to do things in Haiti.
Exactly.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And it can't be like your situation with the server. That was crazy to me. Mm-hmm. Yeah. A better infrastructure where those types of things can't happen would be crucial. But I think it can happen.
Yeah.
It's not that heavy of a lift.
So, and I think it's been a good chunk of this chat talking about Haitians and tech and tech in general. But I want to ask a few questions before we sign off about you, Whitney. On a personal level, outside of tech. I mean, what do you like to do outside of, like, when you're not doing technology? Like, what's Whitney do for fun? Like, what's that about?
Oh, that is a good question. You taking me off guard. Okay. I like to think of myself a little bit as a writer. So I do a lot of writing. So I have a couple of blog posts, Medium posts. I do have a project I'm working on. It's tech. It's science. The main character is in tech as a basically a cryptologist. And so, yeah, I like to write. I would say that's the thing I like to do outside of work. And I like nature.
Make sure I get a signed copy book, whatever you publish. Okay, make sure I get a signed copy.
Yes. And I like nature. I like, that's kind of like my preferred recreational thing. Anything outside is what I like to do. And I'm very boring. Like, I like to go to pool hall, I like to go bowling, and I like to be with friends and family. That's what I like to do with my free time. And reading. I like to read an obscene amount of romance novels, uncomplicated. That's what I like to do.
Now, I guess in terms of, always got to bring it back to Haiti. You know, there's one question. The next question is asked about Haiti. That's just how it works on this channel here. When you're in Haiti, like first off, when's the last time you visited? Ben, I know Haiti's been a rough.
Yeah,
No
2018 was the last time.
2018.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that things were still decent in 2018. I don't know what do you do when you're like outside of maybe a project you may be working on related to tech, but do you try to go to a resort? Do you what's the fun thing you do when you're in Haiti? Like, you know, just sightsee.
Yeah, no, I'm really with my family for the most part. So yeah, I mean,
First off, where are your families? Where are they? Are they in Port-au-Prince? Are they out?
So our home is in Pentouville,
Okay.
but my dad's grandma's house, and he loves to be in Jacmel because his family's from Jacmel, so he'll stay in Jacmel at his mother's house. And then my mom her family's from Jérémy. But yeah, for the most, when I go to Haiti, I'm usually in either Jacmel at my grandma's or at our family home in Pentouville. Yeah.
Okay. Nice. And you usually with family then, it sounds like. That's fun in and of itself, catching up with them, just shooting the crap, just relaxing. That's usually one of my favorite elements of being in Haiti.
Yeah, that for the most part, yeah. Like, I'm just really with family. I'm very, like, when I vacation, I like to do what every local is doing. So I'm gonna eat the same foods, even though my mom doesn't want me to eat street food. Like, I'm just gonna just vibe with everybody and just chill. So I'm not really much for like doing anything extravagant, but I'm gonna start doing that. Like, you know, living at the life to showcase what's there.
There's only one thing I've ever said my mom is right when it comes to Haiti and consulting me, and that's eating street food. And man, listen, they're delicious, they look good. You want to support the local economy, but as your stomach is not out, no matter how much your brain is.
Okay, so my sisters who went, yes. But I'm telling you, I have an iron stomach. As long as it's not dairy, I am the person who never, like, everybody else will get sick. I have an iron stomach. Man,
okay. I thought I won too, but man, like I got stories on stories where the net result was not good. You know, but I try. The reason I've pulled back. But respect for you.
I'm gonna pull back now, but I will say I have been that person.
So yeah, that's been the interview. I don't know what did I not ask, Whitney? What this is your chance to kind of, you know, what should we talk about? Is there anything I should bring up in general?
No, I think the main thing is if anybody wants to collaborate on projects or needs help with anything, like, you know, they can reach me at Whitney@HaitiansInTech.com. Like I said, we really want to build a strong network of Haitians in tech throughout the diaspora. So wherever you may be, whether it's in New York, DC, if you really have the drive to create that community and build that ecosystem, we can help provide the resources and connect to all the, you know, other individuals who are like ready and willing to fund that. So yeah.
I put that information right there on screen. Those who are watching, those are on IG, Whitney at Haitians in Tech, just like it sounds.com. Whitney at HaitiansInTech.com is right there. In fact, that the Haitian Tech made me remember, just really quick, why is .ht .ht so expensive? So expensive.
I don't know the question to why it's that expensive, but you know, the price
is that common for different countries, you know, like .fr and stuff. Is that because it's like for example, I bought SeeJeanty.com for like, I don't know, a couple cents, like, you know, so cheap. It's like every year I got to renew at $100 for the .ht version. It's crazy, you know.
Yeah. So when I looked at it, I mean, so I always say this, they actually, sometimes Haiti does some really good things. So they do own like that. I forget who it is, but it's with the web consortium of people who decide domains. And so Haiti basically kind of like owns the .ht domain and then has like this organization who licenses the right to domain providers to price it. But I think it's more of, because there's not a lot of competition, I think it could be lower, but you just don't have enough competition, and so they price it. And I'm the type of person, I'm like, your price is your price. I'm not gonna watch anybody set their price and say anything that's them. But I think it's the case of there's not much competition. Like, I find it really weird that you have to do like all this communication in order to get a domain versus just writing it in and just, I don't know, just being able to see if it's available automatically, like
Yeah.
like a Daddy experience. So
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure why they price it that way. There may be other things underlying that I'm not like aware of, maybe due to like in terms of like business costs that they're trying to address, especially if not a lot of, looking at the numbers of people who have that domain, not a lot of people have the domain. So, I think it might be a volume thing. So that might play a part in it, but I think there's a lot of opportunity for people to break even into that space and make it better.
Yeah, I think so. I had to answer that real quick while I had you. But listen, Whitney, it's been a blast. I enjoyed our chat. Certainly could have made it go longer. I certainly may have to bring you back when there's a big move happening in the technology space in Haiti. Whenever that happens, I'm going to try to bring you back if you can help us dissect what's happening, why it's happening, and where the opportunities are. I want everyone to certainly reach out to Whitney and anything. Trust me, Whitney is part of the private WhatsApp group, by the way. I got to plug that, and she's been an incredible resource for everyone in there. So I speak to that experience dealing with her almost daily. She's a tremendous resource for in the tech space. So please, I'm not kidding. Do reach out to her. And she will assist in different whatever it is that you're trying to do. Whitney, thank you so much, my dear.
Thank you
Enjoy
so much.
enjoy the rest of your day. We'll be in touch later in the private WhatsApp group. Keep pushing, and we'll make it do what it do.
Can I add one thing?
Yes,
3 o'clock.
please.
3 o'clock at Miami Dade College Wolfson campus. We're going to be having Haitians in Tech is going to have a growth mindset workshop. We're doing in collaboration with Venture Miami, the city of Miami. So feel free to show up if you're in the Miami area, South Florida area. Would love to have you.
Awesome. Thank you, Whitney.
Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye. And that, my folks, was Whitney. Haitians in Tech. Leave her information on the screen for just a little bit longer there. As you saw, she's someone who is extremely knowledgeable, knows her stuff, and great personality. An absolute pleasure to speak with and discuss and work with. And I can tell you, I've enjoyed having knowing her and what she can bring about in the capacity that she brings about. And it was a humble honor to have her a part of this. And that's what we're about here at SeeJeanty, right? I hope as you're watching, as you're getting nuggets and taking notes, I hope you are sharing the live and sharing it and getting folks out. And I want you to share it. If you shared it once, share it again, because we're going to have someone here, our second interviewee here in a moment. In fact, let me go ahead and help them set up. I'm going to play the intermission for just a moment. Don't go away. Trust me, as impactful as Whitney just was, this next person is going to be as impactful. So please just give us a minute. Let's get them on, help them get on. And then, baton, as they say. Baton. Be right back. Yes, we're back, and our next guest is momentarily. His work is getting on. As soon as he gets on, we'll start that part of the show. But it gives us a bit of a chance to chat per usual, and I am going to do something here in just a moment that I think you guys are going to appreciate. I think I'm going to, let me see something. First, let me find it first, and then I shall be able to. Let's see. I don't know. I don't know where to find it, so I can't share it just yet. So maybe I'll share it once I have it. I keep you guys in suspense in the meantime. But let me go look through the chat and see who's here. Gillen R, what's up? Happy to have you in here. We have not Les Grossman in here as well. Aldo Victor, what's up, my man? Good to have you in here. We got here and overseas. First time I'm seeing you. Hello. Hope you're subscribed. Hope you're watching. Got Yujuru in the house. Yujuru, what's up, man? Happy to have you there. Arlene Wade, always humbled to have Arlene in the chat. Always a pleasure to have you here, my dear. Hope you've been well. Hope you're still doing what you're doing. Always a pleasure to have in the chat. Black Udon, first time I'm seeing you in the chat. Certainly hope you're subscribed and hope to see you again. We got Michelle Lewis. I've seen Michelle Lewis a few times. Certainly good to have you in the chat. We got Edwin Williams in the house. Dropping 2 yo-yos. I'm hitting you with 3 yo-yos back. Yo. Happy to have you in the chat and watching. And anyone else who's watching right now, don't be shy. Drop. Say a shout out. Say how you're doing. I know our relationships here typically is one-sided, where the content's created and then you're watching. It's not like a stage show or anything like that where you can immediately, get feedback. Either a boo or a tomato thrown at you, maybe applause. So but the live show certainly is an opportunity for proper conversation to happen and to be held. We got Robbie Sane in the house. Michelle Lewis is Whitney's mom. I hope Whitney did good, huh? She did well. We know she did well, right? But great job, Mom. You raised a fantastic human being who's impacting and doing great stuff. So thank you. We got Joe Jupe VD Clips in the house. Yo Fero Nula. And okay, I see our guest is in the lobby, so that means we could be able to move forward. So let's chat, right? So our next guest is someone I have a tremendous respect for. All right, first off, for what he's done in the short amount of time that I've known him and know his activities. Hats off to him, right? You'll see why. I mean, you do more than hats off to him once you bring him on. And the fact that he's younger than me, right? He's actually younger than me, and has done more than me, right? But I remember I say, I like associating myself with people who are even more productive than me, right? And to be more productive than me, you got to be a fighter, and this person certainly is. This person has, along with his partners, have built a company that is servicing not only Haitians in Haiti, but also servicing Haitians in the diaspora. Perfect, great match for this platform that is really about Haitians around the world, Haitians abroad, right? And how they engage that interaction point with Haiti. And he's built a company that is really instrumental, really has been instrumental in at least the past few years, especially during COVID, when folks have been restricted from traveling, restricted from moving about. The company he's built has really been extremely helpful in, I'm not even being, I'm not grandizing this, probably has saved lives, being able to bring certain things, certain materials from, the States that weren't in Haiti, and being able to bring them over has been instrumental on many levels. And again, this business has been booming. I've seen with my own eyes. I've seen where the business started from one little, this is great. I just see something ballooning into something massive, right? Saw how the business started, this one little location in the heart of Petroville, and then has grown to multiple locations across the country in Haiti, multiple locations in America. I remember he had a little storefront in North Miami, and now visit his warehouse, in Miami, proper Miami, and now it's across the all of the Americas. He has different drop off locations that are centralized, at that Miami one. And I think by now, you guys should know who I'm referring to, especially if you watched the episode recently on ShipX. I want to bring on J.M. Caleb Khan Michael. Caleb. Is it Michelle? Is it Michael? What's the M? What's the M in there, man? Let me help me out. Michelle. Well, I had it. But JM for short. Happy to have you on here, JM. I know you're out in a restaurant area right now, so I appreciate you. This guy's a shaker and mover. He's always on the road doing something. So thanks for taking out some time, man, to so folks could hear your story and hopefully be inspired perhaps to do something as impactful and as meaningful as you've done. So Jam, how are you today, man?
I'm doing great, Jeanty. So it's always a pleasure to chat with you. So and I have to admit that every time I meet up with you and be in your show, it's like I learn something new. And thank you for that.
No problem. Happy to have you on. But yeah, man, listen, where to start? As I was highlighting, ShipX, ShipX is doing some great things. I invite folks to watch the episode. We went to your warehouse in Miami. We then went to two places that you have in Petroville, not Petroville, one in Petroville, one in Delma,
Yes.
And we showed that, and I think a lot of folks, probably the comments I had was, man, I've been using them and I love them. That's a popular comment, right? And other folks who were like, oh wow, I didn't even know. Great, thanks for sharing about it. And I hope we get more of those, because I certainly want your business to continue to grow and continue to impact and be helpful. But before we even get to that, because I know you've had other entrepreneurship ventures and educational ventures and stuff like that. Let's take a step back and who are you, JM? Who are you? Break that down. Let folks know, who are you, man?
Yeah. So I have to apologize because of the noise in the background and today. So I had a lot of stuff to do in the morning, this morning, and so it's really a sacrifice that I'm making right now. So in order to to be here with you guys, and so yeah. So I would say I'm a young entrepreneur and been doing business for the last 10 years. And I started in Jackmel with small organization where we used to help the less fortunate kids in Jackmel. So that's how I started, and then at some point I wanted money to continue the project, and I realized that I didn't have any capital, and then I couldn't continue with it. So I was like, oh, maybe I need to shift that a little bit and start doing things that can bring revenue so I can help more people in the future. So that's how I started, and since then I would say I've been in taxi business three taxi businesses, car wash businesses in Miami, school, business school, like seminar projects in Port-au-Prince, where we had a lot of professionals in different different areas, different sectors in Haiti. So yeah, so that's how I started. Now here I am with Shipex, and this has been a great adventure for me. And so that's basically who I am. Like you know, I work hard a lot. I hustle every day. So that's basically me.
Yes, I didn't know the prior many entrepreneur experiences. And that's what folks understand. Folks can see someone, you know, and they may think the person just got lucky or overnight built something, but success is a multi-step process, and they build on each other. One experience builds on the other, builds on the other, until finally you have the intersection of opportunity and luck, right? That intersect, and a lot of times that opportunity is based off of the experiences you've had, that coalesce to make that opportunity actually real, right? So good to hear you had that experience. So it sounds like you were born in Haiti, yeah.
I'm sorry. Yes, please, some water. Not yet. Thank
He's
you.
in the restaurant, guys.
I'm sorry.
Quick. uh, so you were born in Haiti, right?
If I'm more in Haiti,
Yeah.
I mean, I mean, I've been doing the back and forth, like,
No, let's go to
back,
Fête Haiti. Were you born in
huh?
Haiti? Were you born in Haiti?
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. I
Yeah,
was
yeah,
born in Haiti, and
yeah.
I, I mean, it's been only 7 years since I'm in the U.S.
Right, right.
So, but since then, like I never really live in the U.S.
Yeah.
So I always do the back and forth. So, I would say my business experience in the U.S. is only I had a car wash business in Miami, and then now there's Shipex, like I can consider it's based in the U.S.
Yeah.
Because you have that's where we stop and ship that to Haiti. You see what I mean? So, but most of my experiences are based in like I said, in Haiti.
Haiti.
So yeah.
Now I know the big thing you worked on first was education. You had the Cron Center, right? So tell us about that. Tell us about that experience, some of the challenges, some of the things that um, I don't know. You look back and you enjoyed, and some of the things you look back and was frustrating, maybe.
You said the
The
school,
Cron,
right? Crown
yeah, the
Learning
school.
Center.
The
Oh
Cron, yeah.
yeah, so it was a great adventure, and
hmm
it's still going.
hmm
So we have a location in Pétionville, and then
hmm
we also have another one in Jacmel.
hmm
So because of the political situation, and I would say the location in Jacmel is doing way better than the one in
hmm
Pétionville. So because the one in Pétionville it's more focused on how do you say that, the terms are in French. So it's like we have a concept of uh, training that that is specialized in in a specific category, for example. But in Haiti, we call it formation à la carte. So where we can have an enterprise contact us and say that we need this specific training for our people, for our employees, and then we have a group of professionals in different area like human resources, management, finances, marketing, um, software, you name it. And then so we have this group of people, like highly professional people, and then they come together and put a program in place for the need of the enterprise. And then we also have open door training where professionals can pick any options, and then they come to the school, like short training program for like a month, 2 months, you see what I mean. And then from there we develop a business school concept where we have a curriculum that's at university level, but on a 2 or 3 year program. So instead of going to school for like 4 years to get a
hmm
license, so we came up with a quick concept where you
Hmm.
can spend less time, but because the approach that we use, like um, we had distance learning, for example, so you don't have to come to the school every day, so that that helped us to develop the program faster. So it's a good adventure, and I'm not involved in the operation anymore. But we have a whole team, like the principal of the school, the board of the school. So there's it's still going on, but it's more like in Jackman. Like I said, in Port-au-Prince, things got slow because and I have to say that in Port-au-Prince, so the people, the students, I call them the students, they used to come to the school at night because they work during the day, so they come after work, or on Sunday, like every Sunday. So we have a bunch of professionals that come to the school. So, but things got slower because of the political situation. So yeah, so the school, I love it. I love this concept, and I hope that um, when I have more time in my schedule, and then uh, so I can create some time for the operation and continue with this adventure.
And then that's interesting because again, there's not too many. I mean, there's schools, everything in Haiti, but there not be may not be as much that are really so accommodating to workers. The fact that it's at night, the fact that you have even on the weekend. I
Yeah,
just out of personal experience, having employees of my own who are trying to work and go to school. A lot of times they're asking to miss work, or they're just the schools that are available for that, given their interest, just don't have the capacity to work with them, to work
yeah,
outside of standard working hours. That's cool. That's cool. Now I know the second major business you did, maybe to me anyways, maybe you had another second major business, but to me was ShipX.
the
Taxi
taxi.
Plus. Taxi Plus.
Yeah,
Taxi Plus. Um, first off, is Taxi Plus still around? Number one, and number two, tell us, walk us through that the beginning of Taxi Plus, and in fact, I used it a few times,
yeah,
and how that evolved to where it may be now.
yeah. So taxi plus is still around, but I would say I sold my part of the
Hmm.
company.
Hmm.
So, but it's still going. I use the service for ShipX sometimes to to deliver the packages. But things a few months ago, I think things got slower for them because it's really hard. People didn't really go out, so things got slower. But I think they started going back with the operation. But before Taxi Plus, the taxi industry is something that I love because Taxi Plus wasn't the first taxi business that I was a part of. So before Taxi Plus, we there was Taxi Rapid, Premium Taxi Rapid, and there was Taxi Pam. So I was a part of in all of them. So we like the concept, and until now, so the vision that I personally had, and my team at that time shared that vision also, and all of my other partners, so they had their input. So until now, like nobody else like ever got close to what we wanted to do. So, and don't be surprised, I may still come back with the taxi business. So,
Hmm. Hmm.
because like I said, we that Taxi Plus is the third taxi company that I was a part of, and because of the political situation, so we didn't really get the time to get to the level that we wanted. You see what I mean? So with Premium Taxi Rapid, for example, we had like 12 cars brand new, and then after like 2 years of operation, so we had to sell everything back because the political situation was so crazy, and then we didn't really have much option. So yeah, so we had to shut it down. Uh, but with, let me jump on Chipex real quick.
Hmm.
So people keep asking me, so how do you guys do? And like, because the political situation is getting bad and stuff like that. And for example, I was in the taxi, and we had to shut down because of the political
Hmm.
situation. But I would say, in 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 every businesses that I'm in, it's not only me. I never do business by myself. Sometimes I appear as the front, the CEO, the founder, or the co-founder, or whatever. Like, people usually associate me with the business, but different businesses and different partners. You see what I mean? So so the fact that I have different partners, so they really have skill in the game, and that can lead to different results. So I don't know if you see what I'm trying to
Yeah,
say.
yeah, definitely. You one thing you've learned through your experiences for sure has been
Exactly.
the importance of partners, so you can catalyze your growth and reinforce
Yeah.
your capacity even during times of big difficulty, right? So, but so let's talk about that. Let's talk about ShipX now. I know we talked. Those who watched the episode, you did give a few nuggets in terms of here and there how things started and why things started. But the live show gives us a chance to get a little more in depth, get a little more deeper in the meat and potatoes of different topics, and certainly the start of ShipX is a very interesting story about COVID and what you were trying to do. So I don't know. Let's talk about that.
Yeah. So with Shipex, when Shipex started, um, so I was still managing the school, specifically the one in Pétionville. And I remember I traveled from Haiti to Miami on February of 2020. And then from Miami, I flew to New Jersey for like 2 days.
OJM,
Huh?
that's my connection. I thought your connection was bad. My connection is showing some issues here. Hold on,
Oh,
I may have to swap it out because I last time I was seeing that my image was very grainy, and I promised my audience I would never. Oh, wait, I think it's back to normal. We'll keep an eye on it. We'll keep an eye. I think it's back to normal. All right.
okay.
Go ahead, Jam. Keep talking. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So yeah, I remember I flew from New Jersey to Miami on around February, like end of February of 2020, and then and I was supposed to go back to Port-au-Prince first week of March 2020, and then we got the lockdown around that
Mm-hmm.
time. I don't know if
Yep.
you remember.
Yep.
So and
I was locked out too.
eh,
I was locked out as well. I was on the other side, locked out with you, man.
yeah, but it
Couldn't go
was
back.
good that I got locked down in Miami.
Uh-huh.
So, and like even the day before the trip, so I was still thinking like, can I still like travel and stuff like that? And I stayed in Miami, and then and I mean, you remember all the craziness around that time. So, but I don't I don't usually stay like in one place like that. So in my house, like, there's nothing you can do. Like, everything shut down. So we gotta close the school. Everything's closed. Like, and I was thinking, I was like, wow, what I'm going to do now. So, and I was thinking, and there was the shipping business that I used to think about it, and I actually started to work with someone that was doing shipping like in 2019. So I was supposed to invest in a shipping company in 2019, and at that time, in around March of 2020, I had a bunch of stuff that I was supposed to travel to Haiti, and I didn't know what to do with them. And then I checked online, and I saw the company that I was supposed to invest in 2019. They were doing a lot of ads and stuff like that. And I contact them and tell them that, oh, look, I have a bunch of stuff here, and what should I do? Because I never experienced that before. And I came to the office, a business that I was supposed to be the person owner. So it launched like without without me. So
Mm-hmm.
it's okay. And then yeah, when I called them, I came to the office with my stuff. So they charged me around like $800 for some small packages and stuff like that because I wanted to send them by plane. I'm like, So that experience made me realize like other stuff that I didn't really know about the business. And I'm like, okay, so that's a good venture to be in. And then I started working on it, like closely, and talked to them, like the company that I was going to do business. I talked to them, to the guy at the time, and trying to look in depth, his business. And I'm like, oh, this market is so big, and it was by himself. So
Mhm.
at the time, he was the only one doing it.
Mhm.
I'm like, oh, there's enough room for many other companies, and I started my operation, and I started really doing it around April of 2020,
Mhm.
and then quickly I had a few partners, which is I have one of my partner in Miami with me, so he had a location, Jeff, and he already had a location in Miami, and we sat down and he was supposed to start another business, and I told him, look, so we, I have to say that we both are different kind of entrepreneur. So he's more like a business person, but I would say I'm more like an entrepreneur. So in the business that he was gonna do, I told him that I can't really see the long term result behind it, but the shipping. So let's, even though I know you made some investment already in this place and stuff like that, so let's give it a try. And then we found an agreement, and then we started at this location, and boom, in May of 2020. So since then, from May to now, so it's it's crazy, unbelievable, unbelievable result.
I mean, you guys, let's see. I'm looking at your list of places you guys have operation centers: Petroville, Cafu, Leogan, Porope, Cap-Haïtien, Gonaïve, Kai, Delma 31, Delma 60, Set, and then just recently, I think just last week or 2 weeks, St. Mark, brand new. And then in the U.S., you have, of course, your North Miami location, your Miami warehouse, Orlando, New York, Indianapolis. You have a Miramar location too
Yeah,
now. I see that. I see that. Didn't see that before. And then you have a second one, Dixie, a West Dixie. I see West Dixie one, West Dixie two. So you have
exactly.
Two North Miami locations. Is that
That
it?
that's it's gonna yeah, they're gonna be in the West Dixie branch.
Yeah,
So yeah,
North Miami.
yeah, not Miami.
Okay, so two North Miami ranches. So
Exactly.
you can see, JM is trying to be the post office here, trying to be on every street corner, slowly but surely, where there's Haitians, right?
Yeah.
And I think is that the vision to really be accessible to the Haitian diaspora, wherever there's Haitians to be. Like, where do you see this growing into? Because I wanted to grow far, but where do you see this growing into?
Um, this is, I mean, everything you can think about shipping and freight, for example. So, and as you can see, uh, the logo has changed now from just ShipX to ShipX Cargo and Freight. So it's really broad. So so for example, in Haiti, uh, I'm gonna say it live. We already have a lot of people that wants to do local shipping in Haiti. For example, they have a packages in Port-au-Prince and they want to send it to Jackmel, for example. I have the logistic already to do it. So in that particular space, like just the shipping, so we can become the next USPS in Haiti, private
Mhm.
company.
Yeah.
So even if the Haitian government, like if they want to have it with shipments with shipments, for example, so um, for uh, transportation in terms of mail and stuff like that. So we can do it because we have the logistic, and most importantly we have the technology as well. So yeah.
And that's the big difference maker because there's some copycats. There was a company or two that was there. You mentioned the one that burned you, but there's a one or two others as well. But some of them weren't in Pitcherville. Some of them were in Ocop or outside of Port-au-Prince. But the biggest difference, anyone who's ever interacted with a company like that, and yours, is the fact that it wasn't technology based, right? They have a pen and paper, a notepad, they jot down your information,
Yeah,
maybe put something on the box with markers, and then they hope that the person on the other side is able to find it for you quickly or find it for the person receiving it. And so often it will get lost. I know anyone who's shipped stuff to Haiti, eventually your entire package just disappears, gets lost,
yeah,
because it's manual process versus
exactly.
you guys. You have to log on to shipbacks.net,
That
create
yeah,
a login, and then as soon as it comes in, you scan it, it's connected to the system, and everything's tracked just like any proper logistics company. FedEx, UPS in America have
yeah.
the same level of technology, for your company. So I don't know. Did I know you always a technologist. I know Taxi Plus had an app going to. I mean, I don't, why do you feel technology is so important? You know.
First of all, we can agree on we are living in a world like I think we're about to surpass like uh, the TIC now, the the information age,
Hmm. Hmm.
So I think it's just the basis, for a business. You see what I mean?
Hmm.
And first of all, I remember the first 2 months of the business. I have my other partner in Haiti is, so he's a technical guy. He's a technician, like and he's all about technology as well. And he was like, Kwan, avec business, ça mwen a faire là. So without this a real system, because in the beginning, so I built a spreadsheet, form that a big spreadsheet form that we used to use at the time. So it was like it's not gonna work like that, and we hire a team to develop the system for us, and for like we use it for like 2 or 3 months, and we didn't like it. So, and my partner Eves at that time, he was like the vision I have, because he had a model in his head already. Like he envisioned exactly how he wants the system, like the way he wanted it to be. And then we hire a new team, another team for that. We shut down the first system, everything. So, and the first team at that time, they didn't even want to give us like the data at that time for the
Hmm.
company.
Source code.
I said, you know what? Just forget everything. So we did everything from scratch manually. And then now the system, so there's nothing I can complain about it. But we still have our team working on like every day. So, and what people can say about the system is just like 1% of the work that we did, and or the work that we continue to do, and the other projects that we have like inside of the system. So, for example, people can even pay for the customer in that system. So let's say you have a friend, a family member, so they have a Shipex account, and they were like, oh, you know what? I have this package of Shipex. Can you pay it for me? So they give you the tracking number, and you go and you pay for the person
Mm.
easily, and you can
Mhm.
buy a gift card to send to a friend, for
Mhm.
example. You see what I
Mhm.
mean? We have an e-wallet concept that it's not that we have a e-wallet concept that we have some people, if they're willing to, you know, uh, put some money up front to use the service. So we have this technology as well, and we're working on. We have different projects like inside of the ship system that's also not shipping, that people will hear about it soon.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's basically it. I
I
mean,
know one really an interesting challenge is with your to me your secret sauce is the technology that you have, but also time too that your biggest challenge is that technology, because so many Haitians, who particular ones who've sent things to Haiti, yeah, they just show up, they drop off the box and then go. A lot of them, are older, aren't really,
yeah,
comfortable with technology like that. And so, and maybe that's where the background of education comes in, of your background in education, because now you have to educate them to right, to the benefits of being on that system, and then actually literally show them how to register on that system. So how have you overcome that challenge of many Haitians potentially not maybe feeling comfortable with technology? How have you overcome that or overcoming it? How's that going?
It wasn't easy.
Mm-hmm.
In the beginning, people were like, they were really skeptical about it. They were like, oh, I'm not gonna have to create an account for this, for that. And we were like, if you don't create the account, so unfortunately we won't be able to do business with you. That's it. And then since a few people use the service and they love it, and then and now we are proud to say that we have more than 23,000 people that register themselves. Like,
Wow, 23,000. Wow.
yeah,
Mm-hmm. Now imagine each one sends at least one package for £1 over the air, maybe. And then you have two options. That's another thing I got to mention. Folks don't maybe understand. You have two options to send things: by air and by
yeah,
boat.
sure.
The boat is once a month. The air is over the
No,
is
the
every
boat
week.
is not once a month.
Oh no! Oh, what is
No,
it?
we ship container like 3 or 4 times a month now.
Oh wow! Okay, that's new. For a while it wasn't once a month, but now you're
Exactly. So we have
okay.
like
That's
three or
great.
four containers a month,
Okay, that's
and
fantastic.
then for air it's every week.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Nice. And so, folks, there's different prices, but of course the boat is a little more price. It's what's what I'm looking for. It's not expensive.
yeah,
Neither's expensive, but that one's the boat is particularly not expensive,
that's
and then the
expensive.
flight isn't. But imagine if one person out of that 23,000 does an air freight for $3. I mean, that's interesting revenue, coming in. But no. So you overcome that, you force them to get on board with technology. They experience it, they like it, and now you're in a better spot because now you're able to focus less on the minutia of the logistics and look more strategically to new branches and new places. Now you're even thinking about new services because you figure out the hard part that so many other Haitian logistic companies couldn't figure out, the technology part, how to leverage that so you don't have so many people. Because whenever you have people involved in something, right, Jam, errors happen,
Yeah,
mistakes happen,
exactly.
packages get lost,
Yeah.
and that's the boogeyman of the
Yeah.
business is no one wants to have their package lost.
But one thing I can add to that
Yeah.
is you need a great team in terms of your call center,
Yeah.
your customer service. It has to be on point because
Mm-hmm.
technology is not perfect.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes, for example, you receive a package for a customer,
Mm-hmm.
and then for some reason you scan it
Mm-hmm.
and it didn't update into the system.
Mm-hmm.
This customer been waiting, and they have to call and find out what's going on with the package.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes we still have customer, even if they get the notification, like this package is available in Petroville, for example,
Mm-hmm.
they're still calling you to make sure the package is here.
I don't trust it.
Yeah, so it's a lot of work, and we had to build different departments to
Mm-hmm.
handle this big operation. For example, our call center, we don't outsource that yet, so everything is it's inside of the
Right.
system.
Mm-hmm.
We have our own call center. We have a logistic department. So yeah, so we have more like 60 people actually in our main, like in total, in our main locations
Mm-hmm.
that doing the job.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not the
Mm-hmm.
work of just GM. It's
Right.
yeah,
I love it. Now, one element, of course, folks, I guess, need to appreciate really is the fact that so far you're bringing stuff from America to Haiti. You mentioned that I don't know how about what about the other direction? That's one comment I've gotten. you know,
Okay.
in our video. Chris, yeah, great, that's great. It's bringing stuff in, but what about bringing stuff outside of Haiti? You know,
Yeah,
answer that for them, JM.
that
How's that
that's
gonna?
a
How's
great
that going?
that's a great point. Um, Actually, we used to do it. We used to do it, but it's not. I mean, there's a lot of other regulations and stuff like that. So, and we used to do it for individual, and which is really hard. And then, so since it wasn't our niche at that time, and we stopped, you know, the service for now, and then just focus on just on sending goods to Haiti. So yeah, but there's a high demand for it.
Do you foresee sometime in the future that you try to get back to from Haiti to America, even though you stopped? Is there you know?
Maybe.
Mhm,
So the
mhm,
reason why I say maybe, there, there is a point where we reach that point. For example, we can have our own plane, for example. You see what I mean?
mhm.
So that's gonna be a big option for us to be back with the service.
What advice would you give an entrepreneur trying to break into Haiti in whatever field that they're trying to do? What sort of advice would you give them? What direction would you provide them that maybe you wish somebody told you when you were starting any one of your ventures? What advice would you give that person or yourself from the past?
You said the question is what
What
advise.
advice would you give an entrepreneur trying to do business in Haiti who maybe may not be too familiar or is familiar, but a new entrepreneur trying to do business in Haiti? What would you advise them? What like for example, what did you wish you knew when you were starting your different businesses
Yeah.
that now that you wish somebody told you?
So, I mean, I can say a few things about it. I think first of all is uh, a, the first one I would say never give up. Never give up and make as as much as mistake that you can make along the way, and with mistake with partners, the people that you want to do business with, the sector, like, and learn from them. And I remember in a lot of businesses that I was in, sometimes I got screwed up by other people, but that doesn't stop me to keep doing business with other people, because I believe, uh, like, if it wasn't for my business partners, for my team, so Shipex wouldn't be here today. So I really believe in partnership. So people that know me well, so we know that about me. So find great partnership, and then and never give up, and believe in yourself. So that's really important. Believe in yourself.
Yeah, I think those ideas, are important to reiterate.
Yeah,
The not giving up part is really, it's really, you're really uttering consistency, being consistent, right? Not stopping, taking breaks, but being consistent in that activity. I think that's one reason why SeeJeanty Media has been where it is at 20,000 followers. Is that we've been consistent. We don't care
yeah,
about necessarily the view count per se. We just try to do really good content that is showing a side of Haiti that we've never seen. And I can tell you, it's I, I go a lot of places. I'm recognized, right? And CJT, love what you're doing. Even though my views may say 1K, 2K, but the impact we're having is equal to 20K, 30K a video because of who we're connecting with. We're not just,
yeah,
if I always say this, if we were just trying to do views for views, I'd just be looking for Zen. I'd be looking for, I'd be the TMZ of Haiti if I was just looking for
yeah,
views.
yeah,
And but who am I really connecting with? How am I impacting Haiti? If I'm just looking for sensationalism, right? So the folks we're connecting with, I mean, that 1K is a 1K of impactors, actioneers, folks who are doing things, right? And it's all centered around consistency. Where you try, in fact, right? You know, one reason why we're going to keep this call on the shorter side, because I could easily chat with you for an hour, 2 hours plus, as we've done, JM, is because we got another shoot today. We got another shoot where we're highlighting a really great restaurant in the up all the way up in Kenskoff area that we're gonna do an episode, me and the team. And so it's about consistency. And so I can I can relate with that, and then not giving up, you know, and partners. So that's one thing I've learned, where though I may not have started with partners, but the people who I've employed, I elevate them to the level of partner, because I give them responsibility. I give them really ownership of the business that they're part of to move forward, and get it going, right? So I'm with you on all fronts, right? So I don't know. So as someone who I know you travel a lot. When you're traveling, are you traveling with the Haitian passport? How I gotta ask, how is the Haitian passport? You know, when it comes to, you get a lot of hassle. Break that down to me, man.
Well, I travel with an American passport now.
Okay, gotcha.
So
Good.
yeah, but even before that, like I used to travel with my Haitian passport.
Yeah.
Easy. Like, you know, it wasn't that complicated, but
Okay.
But I was always a U.S. resident, so
Okay. Gotcha. Okay, that helps. Because I'm I want to use my Haitian passport more, but you know, first off, it doesn't have enough stamps. They always look for stamps. You know, they ask you questions, and I always forget too that when entering Haiti to
you said the question was like about the stamp in your passport?
No, just the experience of traveling with a Haitian passport. I know you travel a lot. Every time we chat, like, my first question is, where in the world are you? You know, because you're somewhere.
Now I can say I spend more time in Miami now. I spend more time, so I started to consider Miami as, before it was Pétionville. Like, I have everything in Pétionville. I have my apartment, my office, like 7 minutes away.
Yeah.
So it's like it was my hometown. And then now Miami, I started seeing Miami as my hometown now, in a way. So yeah.
Nice. So let's get a little personal. Like, so when you're not doing, creating new businesses left and right, right, and ushering a new age of logistics and freight and cargo for Haiti, as you're doing with ShipX, what do you do for fun, Jam? Like, I don't know. Every time we chat, I know you never do anything fun. You're always doing something with your business. What do you do for fun, man?
For fun, I spend some time. I mean, I have two beautiful daughters, so I spend some time with them. Sometimes I spend time with them, and other fun is I enjoy smoking cigars. I enjoy going to nice restaurants with my other friends. What else? I like traveling, and usually when I travel, I take some time to explore the city. Whenever I travel to go do something, so it's not always 100% business.
Does Haiti have? You mentioned cigars. Does Haiti have a good cigar brand? Like,
there's plenty. There's plenty now. But one thing I'm gonna say about cigars, it can be different brand, but the same cigar.
Okay.
So yeah, it can be different brand, but the same cigars. And
where would you put Haitian cigars? Where do they rank amongst other cigars that you enjoy? Where do they rank, and why do they rank there?
I have to think about it, because I have to admit that I don't smoke a lot of Haitian cigars.
Okay.
I think a few months ago I've had like a few Haitian cigars, but the quality change sometimes, and which is not good.
Oh, because it's not consistent. Gotcha. You can have one brand, one experience, and then the experience is different. It's not consistent. Okay.
Yeah. But I know the way cigar grows, like the land that we have in Haiti, we're supposed to provide the the best cigars, the best cigars
Yeah.
in the world too.
Hmm.
For example, look at Dominican Republic.
Yeah.
So they're doing a great job, like in terms of cigar. You see what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
So we have the land for that. So maybe they don't have logistics, to maintain the quality of the cigar. Maybe that's what happens sometimes.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Yeah, yeah.
Gotcha. Just curious, because I
I like the
with
brand.
this.
I like the name. I mean the name of the cigars in Haiti. I've seen Wacky Stuff,
Uh,
Ogu, Papa
mhm.
Dog, Bounce.
Papa Doc. I've heard good things about Papa Doc.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
there's Boy Q too. I think there's Boy
Uh,
Q. I think
yeah.
I've never tried this one, but
Uh-huh.
they told me a lot about the Boy Q one, but I haven't
Yeah.
tried it yet. So I should. But yeah.
Yeah.
So
I've dabbled with the cigars. I haven't, I don't do it consistently, but somebody says they're, about to crack one open. I'm like, pass one over, and that's about the
yeah,
experience I have. But no, I think folks have really gotten a sense of your background, GM, a good sense of ShipX, where you guys are going. I think there's a lot of opportunity in the space, both domestically and also how you're doing it right now in terms of adding locations. There's an incredible amount of growth potential for what you're trying to do, for sure. But I don't know how do given all the potentiality that exists. I mean, are you looking for investors? Like, how are you looking for additional partners? I mean, tell us about that. How does that work if someone was interested and said, "Hey, I have," and we're not talking about little change of money, by the way, guys. We were watching. We need 50,000, 100,000 or more, for your first, tranche. But go ahead, JM. How would someone who's interested, reach out? An incredible opportunity of ShipX if you are even
I would
accepted.
say for now, um, it's not open to public for now. Okay, it's not open, but I think by next year, so we have a few member of the board that that I mean, I think by January of next year, so they like will actually own share, of the company,
Hmm.
but it's just private. You see what I mean?
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
So, but I don't know. But maybe in the future, like we can have, maybe we should develop a concept in Haiti where like publicly people can own stock in a company.
Hmm. Hmm. No, I think there's opportunity because there's I see the stuff you're talking about. It's incredible amount of capital you may need. For example, additional Mack trucks and I see one day you guys having your own boat,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
for sure, for sure.
And planes and stuff like that. And so
Yeah,
I think having a chance for folks to help along with that and also own shares of what's going to be, I know, one of the most dominant companies in that space for sure. That's good to know.
yeah,
So we'll certainly share that once you have more information with that. But yeah, I think folks have a sense of you too as well, and so I think what final words would you like to leave with the audience in terms of either shipbacks or any bit of advice? What's a final word you like to leave and provide?
well, yeah. So I hope I find the time to do it because my laptop is like 5%.
Okay,
So yeah,
good
my
timing for us
word,
to wrap it
yeah,
up.
I would say that.
Mhm.
I mean, I really have to thank you, Chris, because you've been doing a phenomenal. Shit.
I can hear you. Yeah, go ahead.
You've been
Yeah.
doing a great job for the country. Is like you're very smart guy, knowledgeable. Like I really appreciate that about you. And I would say to the people that's gonna be watching this show, like don't give up on your dream. Take action. So I know you have a lot of people that following you. Some of them are business person, some of them are not. But if you intend to start a business or start no matter what it is, so start taking little action that will lead to big action. That will lead to to the result that you're looking for. So yeah.
Boom. We'll take that to the bank. We'll take that advice from me. I put right there, guys, www.shipex.net. I need you guys to go out there, sign up for your account, register, and then send your first package. The way it works is you go on Amazon, you put their address in, your package goes to them, eBay, wherever it is, and then from there, based on your registration, it'll go to one of their Pittsburgh office or Delamar or St. Mark, wherever it is. So again, as I mentioned in the video, the real benefit is, I used to be asked all the time, Chris, can you bring this and that for me when you're coming from America to Haiti? First off, folks would have to wait until I'm coming. That's crazy. And then secondly, I don't have space. I'm bringing my own stuff in my own suitcase. I don't have space for everyone else. And now ShipX, it removes the weight, removes the hassle on your part. You just, when the person who's asked for needs it, put it, send it, and now your grandma, your uncle, your cousin, they can get whatever their heart's content may be. And literally within a week of that order happening, especially on Amazon Prime, a week from when it comes in, sometimes less, depending on the timing, it's in Haiti and that person can use it. So, hats off, JM, for finding, a niche. Again, I remember my book, 101 Ways to Make Money in Haiti. It's about finding opportunity, researching, seeing where the pain points are. What are Haitians complaining about? And then potentially putting it as a business, to provide. And you're showing that, finding solutions to problems in Haiti can be very lucrative.
That's right.
So, JM, thank you so much for your time today. I appreciate you. And I'm sure I'll have you back on when you open your 100th branch, not just in America, but around the world. Your 100th branch. Promise me you'll be back on the show. We'll talk about your product.
Sure.
Sounds good?
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate you, man. Have a great day.
Yeah, me too.
Ciao.
Thank you. You too. All right.
That was JM, guys. ShipX.net. You see it there. Incredible business being built. I have tremendous respect for JM, what he's building. It's a company that's employing dozens, impacting. I remember, guys, go to SeeJeanty.com, go to ShipX.net, the video, and watch the video. Watch the video in length. There is a lot that we didn't even cover in our conversation that you'll see on the video of ShipX. And seeing is believing, by the way. Seeing is believing. So go check out that video. It is, in fact, I'll share a little bit of it here while we're signing off, and I'll let that play in the background. In fact, while we're doing our outro, SeeJeanty back and well, I'll let you guys go see it. How about that? I'll just drop the link to the video. How about that? Boom. And you guys can go see the video after we get off air, right? And so I guess that's a wrap, guys. I want to thank you so much for those who watched. We're 2 hours and 14 minutes in. Myself, I'm about to go shoot another brand new episode. The day just only getting started for me. We're about to go up, me and the team about to go shoot another episode while I'm here in Haiti. Wherever I'm in Haiti, I try to get on camera because the hyper distribution is taking so much more of my time. And I'm stateside now. Where I'm in Haiti, I should try to churn out some episodes with me on camera. I really do enjoy being part of that. Though, as I say, I'm a entrepreneur first, media personality second. And on that vein, SeeJeanty.com/shop. Go check out 101 Ways to Make Money in Haiti. Lucrative business ideas, insightful success stories, and interesting business opportunities for visionary entrepreneurs. It's just a data dump of my experiences talking to other people in the space, and answering a lot of questions I get in DMs. It's in there. It's not for me to make money, or I'm not trying to be that guy who does YouTube ads and, hey guys, just standing in front of Ferrari and saying, hey, here's how I'm so rich and here's how you can be rich too. No, it's just more about how can I encourage you to be successful with your business venture in Haiti, and then the little bit of change that is provided for it goes to supporting the media team and the infrastructure of SeeJeanty Media. So do check out that book out. SeeJeanty Action Group, right? It's a space for folks to continue to collaborate and work together So please go ahead and join that. The private WhatsApp group, it's a Patreon, where your funding and support goes to um, uh, supporting what we have going on here. Plus, you're in the space with other 30 actioneers who are doing things. I'm in that space too. I'm always communicating, helping folks in there. So feel free to become a part of the community more directly, more hands-on for a monthly fee. Hybriddistribution.com. That's what currently is driving my attention. We're bringing stuff by the container load out of Haiti and selling them across really the U.S. I got products even going to Canada now. We're on Amazon, by the way, so do check out the website. You'll see our products. You'll be able to buy a few things from our Haitian black castor oil to our honey to our vanilla essence. A lot of different stuff here on there. Do go check that out. And if you made it this far, I want to make a special announcement. If you made it this far, I want to make a special announcement. I was going to give it to you a little earlier, but now I give it to you now. Your boy, all right, this boy right here is going to be a father, right? Your boy has a young one on the way. That's right. My wife is 6 months. Got a baby girl on the way, right? So if you made it this far, I didn't want to ruin these interviews with my big announcement, so I saved it towards the end to share that, right? Your first kid, by the way, is coming, and so just wanted to share that with you, the community. I'll be honest, she may not be on camera. I kind of feel kids shouldn't be on camera unwillingly, if the kid chooses to or whatever, but just because I'm in media, the kid shouldn't be. So I may not probably drop one photo just because I do want to share that moment when it happens. But beyond that, just want to share that news. And by the way, anyone who wants to really support this news, I'm gonna do something that feel free and show your one thing to type congrats, but you can show your boy some real love. I got the baby registrar open and I just dropped the link right in there, and you guys whosoever feeleth give baby Jeanty, or her name's Olivia, baby Olivia Jeanty, a bit of love and appreciation. Show her by grabbing something off the registrar. Why not? and take it from there. But nonetheless, I wanted to just share that bit of information and news to you guys, my audience. I appreciate you guys. And I mean, you guys for 5+ years have been a very close part of my life. And for as many more years as possible, you guys will continue to be part of that life. And so when big life events like that happen, I certainly would be amiss to not share it. And so I'm sharing it. And of course, the baby registrar is there for you guys who, want to, know that, baby Olivia's wearing a bib that you bought for her. That's all there, right? So thanks in advance for anyone who wants to, congratulate in that manner, right? So that's it, guys. That's the show. This is what we're about here at SeeJeanty Media. We're about giving a platform and space for entrepreneurs, impactors, doers to feel at home in what they have going on, to share their experiences, to encourage you to be able to do what you need to do for Haiti. And most importantly, it's about having, I guess, the information as well be expressed and dispersed amongst, because that's the only way really Haiti can change, is when enough folks believe that they can be successful and are successful, that Haiti can be long-term a better country. Because there's been a lot of folks who've been successful, but after so many years have to leave. And that's a big part because perhaps the community wasn't there to allow them to continue to grow, because their leverage continue to impact. And so hopefully SeeJeanty is a part of that conversation, a part of that solution, and future entities will also be part of that solution. And finally, I want to see, we all want to see a Haiti that is better than what we know. And we deserve it. Haiti deserves it. Haitians deserve it. And we're going to keep fighting for that. We're going to keep fighting for that. And you guys are a big part of that. So thank you for watching and being consistent in that. Right. So that's it. Well, I'll be back on the live next month. So in the meantime, be safe, keep impacting, keep working. But when it comes to SeeJeanty Media, new episodes dropping. So please hit that notification button if you're watching on YouTube. Anywhere else, if you're first time coming in, please follow us. Go to YouTube, subscribe, watch. We have a catalog of videos. Go catch up, watch some real cool videos. Share your favorite ones, and yes, we will be back at it again, and we're back at it again. Peace. Take care, everyone.